Всем привет, с вами я, Роман, и все такое. Не знаю, мне может при озвучке быть плюс-минус ускорение. Мы начнем играть. Genshin Impact, фазы луны 2. Да, еще Флинтс выкрутил еле как без доната, потому что донатить не умеет, честно говоря. Честно говоря. Теперь еще это заранее заснял без звука. Сейчас должен озвучить и видос отправлю скоро в YouTube, если получится с VPN. Так, все оказались вместе. Еще предупреждаю. Ладно, потом предупрежду. Так, сейчас начну. Продолжение уже несколько дней с тех пор, как мы расстались с друзьями в нашем городе. О лунном мстителе до сих пор никаких вестей, куда он подевался. Вот были бы он исчез навсегда, но лунный мститель только всегда натворил. Вряд ли он затеял потому, что он решил сдаться. Привет, вы путешественник, Павел? А кто еще? Господин Флинс повсюду вас ищет. На каменном карьере найден дикая охота. Он говорит, что настало время собраться и разобраться с планом. Дикая охота. Ох, нам надо поспешить. Люк, скорее. Let's go. Страны, которой нет. Какая-то отсылка. Ну, потом. Если что, Люк — это сокращенное имя Лукуса. Почему у меня такой отряд? Потому что... Ну и сейчас это заранее снимаю. Мне уже Флинс уже достаточно хорошо прокачан. Подождем, когда начнется разговор. До него. Еще сообщения в WhatsApp будут появляться у меня после нового телефона. Не сильно новый. Где-то в апреле купили. И тут побольше памяти, хотя бы вот это видео могу 2-часовое, хоть 3-часовое, 10-часовое, не знаю. Мне достаточно гигабайтов на такое. Как всегда. Ладно, тэпаемся вот туда и начинается. Флинц будет в раздумьях. Мы видим, как вот эти царапины силы, Кувяки нет. Мы смотрим на этих персонажей и думаем. Флинц думает. Я почти не чувствую Кувяки. Все земли словно пустая оболочка, которых улетела душа. Логично. Вот это аппетит. Даже энергии пушки ему мало, но он продолжает собирать энергию. Да ладно, он хочет стать еще сильнее. Что он вообще задумал? Хз. Все, уже здесь, вот и мы. Что тут у нас случилось? Со времени нашей последней встречи мы постепенно остаемся настороженными. Что было? Ну ладно, помолчи просто.
When a ratnik found signs of wild hunt activity while out here on patrol. As you can see, the Crystonite itself is physically...
And we're sure that Rarier did this. Who else? He's the only one who could pull off a stunt like this.
Kuvaki loss has reached critical levels. Raikir of Solnari set to maximum threat level. Warning, unless de-escalation measures are taken soon, he will pose a threat beyond our ability to contain. The consequences could be catastrophic.
Traveler, do you remember when we encountered Rarir? There wasn't a shred of sanity left. Nothing but madness and rage.
Yeah, didn't he shout out a bunch of names? Then he started raving about how nothing in this world mattered to him. Oh, Paimon gets chills just thinking about it. Oh, but the thought that he's still out there, lurking somewhere and not cry, waiting for his chance to strike? Oh.
Last time we fought, we were already at a disadvantage. If he has such overwhelming strength, why would he suddenly go into hiding?
Yeah, if I were him and I wanted more Kuvaki, I'd just take it by force. No point staying in the shadows. Unless something went wrong. His whole resurrection thing didn't exactly go smoothly.
The other thing is, how does someone who's completely lost their mind still have the wherewithal to cover their track?
Beats me.
According to certain medical studies, insanity does not always entail a complete loss of rationality. It may be that he is simply living in a world of his own.
That actually sounds about right. He was ranting away to himself the whole time, like he had zero interest in talking to us.
There are many unanswered questions here. He could be right under our noses, and we'd still be... Besides his name and title, we know little about him. Certainly nothing about his past.
Exactly. And we wouldn't even know where to begin looking. Even Boss hadn't heard of the Rahir of Solnari before all this. I'd be willing to bet that even if we gathered together every scrap of intel in Nodcry, we still wouldn't find more than, like, 3 useful facts about him.
So, if we do nothing, he'll just keep getting stronger. But if we want to investigate him, last time we had Marionette and her big robo-buddy to help us, and we still barely held our ground. If we had to face him alone... Oh, Paimon's head hurts just thinking about it. What are we supposed to do against it?
Well, I do have a little hunch about his next move. Given that he attacked the quarry, I'd say it's likely he'll target other places rich in Kuvaki. Somewhere like the Eye of Krati, or the Pillar of Embla. One thing's for sure. If we just sit back and let him keep absorbing Kuvaki, we really won't stand a chance against him.
A perfectly reasonable hypothesis. However, it is worth noting that these two locations are quite far apart.
I agree, we should split up. Right now, Rarir's goal seems to be gathering Kuvaki, not fighting us directly. Once we're done, let's regroup on Hisi Island.
Wait, what?
If I recall correctly, your largest goddess statue was carved from Kuvaki-rich ore, was it not?
That's right. Yes, it...
Splitting up's always gonna be risky. But I guess we don't have much choice, right? We're in a race against time here. And if we do run into Rear, what then?
That's when you follow the 3rd rule of treasure hunting. Run like the wind.
Didn't you say the 3rd rule was go with the flow?
I don't know.
Agreed. If anyone finds so much as a trace of Rarir, do not pursue him. Get out of the area and alert the rest of us as soon...
All right, we'd better get moving. Come on, Ineffa, let's go.
Короче, почему не озвучил? Ну, потому что неудобно читать, и это еще мешает звукам ихним. Будем, вот когда вот это, они там ищут примерное местоположение, где он мог быть, и докладывать друг другу. Так, если чё, почему такой отряд? Ну, потому что вот при силе Кувяки, то есть заряженной энергии Флинца, я могу использовать час, потому что у него патрон на электро, Флинц электроперс. И также, если там появится облако при использовании часки, то получается при выстреле электропатронами у меня получается... Опять эти сообщения. Короче, получаю лунный заряд. Вот так. Люк и Люк просто по приколу поставил. И Люк вообще-то мой любимый перс. Люк просто для хп. Ладно.
Any leads?
Nope. Diddly squat. No clues to where he might... It feels like we're sitting on a powder keg that could go off at any second. Ugh, I hate this feeling. I'd rather face him head on than be left hanging like this.
So, you guys didn't find any...
Not loving the word either. How about you, Flints?
I questioned a few Ratniki and eventually narrowed my investigation down to one suspicious individual. But by the time I got to his place, he was already gone. Almost as if he knew someone was on to him. Either that, or he's just extremely cautious and doesn't stay in one place for long.
He's been biding his time for a while now.
No idea. Since regaining his body, he seems to have lost all interest in the fragment in my possession. If he did still want it, he's had plenty of chances to take it.
All we can do now is hope that Ino and Anefa turn up some leads. Wait, he's actually here? I didn't mean it!
No. Silver Moon Hall. The Lady Kuthar might be in danger.
Let's get over there, quick!
Короче, начнется анимация экшен. Вот он, экшен, битва. Ладно, я больше не буду озвучивать, потому что при разговоре этих персов у меня происходит такое неуспевание. Ну также еще это сюжет, ну и все такое. Сейчас начнется самое интересное, самое крутое. Экшен за экшеном, битва, жесткая Рирью против Линса, Кирилла Чудомировича и Итера. Это просто эпично, вот это эпично.
Your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Thalindus, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
Бедная Колумбина ее тут задела, но это всего лишь царапина. Сейчас начнется полный экшен. ГГшка сейчас вспомнит то, что можно использовать телепортацию, и это исчезнет вместе с остальными. Короче, сейчас в этом моменте ГГшка собирается телепортировать всю ее дружину в другое место. Ну, это безопасное место. Сейчас самый крутой момент. Вот это эффектно. И не получается все сделать, все исчезают, а то всем успевают свалить. А Ририр в гневе. Смотрите, какой он злой. Он злой, Ририр в гневе, короче. Короче, у них там это... Дальше будет телепортация, ну и долгий разговор, где на них... Ну, потом разговор по плану, что они будут дальше делать. Мы это скоро узнаем.
What's that guy's deal? How'd he get so crazy strong?
He's a threat to this entire nation. I doubt his strength could even be measured by conventional standards.
I have a question. When me and Anefa showed up, we saw him chasing after this lady like he wanted her dead. What was that all about?
Я тут немножко здесь задумался, ну и так думал, что будет дальше, ну, по сюжету.
We weren't there for the whole thing either. They were already duking it out by the time we arrived.
Yeah, we didn't see how it all started. It all escalated so quickly, we had no choice but to step in.
Kuthar, can you shed any light on the situation?
Kutar. Cross-checking database. I see. So you're the one that the Frost Moon Scions refer to as the Moon Goddess?
Wait, she's the moon goddess?
Только что
No
догадалась.
wonder she looked.
There are many reasons why people might worship the moon, and just as many why they might despise it. I've never met that person before, but there was no mistaking his deep-seated hostility towards me. Why he holds me in such contempt, I cannot say. But since he hunts the power of the moon, it's no surprise.
Kutar.
There are many potential motives. For instance, you help the traveler escape his grasp. This could be his way of taking revenge. It is also possible that he covets the Kuvaki inside you and seeks to take it for his own. The list goes on. But right now, devising a counter-strategy should be our #1 priority.
A counter-strategy? But we don't stand a chance against an enemy like this. Surely our only option is to run. No, I can't say that. Running is our only option.
План ягоды, короче,
You
который он
seem
говорит.
surprised. But what other choice do we have? We are facing an enemy we cannot possibly defeat in battle. Well, I mean, yeah. It's not too late. I can distract him, so you have plenty of time to make.
Wait, what? You're gonna act as bait?
Doesn't that make sense? I'm the one he's after. There's no need for you to risk your neck. A coyote doesn't stop for bypassers while it's howling at the moon. What is it, Loma? The Frost Moon Scions have already grown accustomed to life without their goddess. My presence here is no longer essential, and this is not my home.
We can't just roll over and let him get away with this. That's not our style.
Yeah, we can't just call it quits after everything we've been through together. Besides, she pretty much saved my life back there. If I just ditched her now, I'd never forgive.
We can't overlook that you have saved our lives multiple times now. To talk of returning the favor would be a little crass for my liking.
River's true objective remains unclear. Even if we were to sacrifice Miss Kutar, there's no guarantee he would stop.
Есть, я вина дочитывал, что там наговорил, и мне немножко задумал.
Kutar, I know why
Опять
you
эти
left the Frost Moon
сообщения.
Scions so long ago. It was because people started treating prayer as a form of trade. They would make
Ну, здесь
self-centered
объясняется,
wishes,
почему она ушла.
force you to
Ну,
accept.
все
If it were
логично,
me,
почему лунная богиня
I might
ушла
have
из-за
walked away
того,
too.
что
But I
жадность
believe that
этих
time
людей.
can change everything. After much reflection, I've realized that any relationship based on need is. You were born here, and now you've returned. Who knows? Perhaps it was the moonlight.
Thank you, Lama. But my power is on the wane. I'm afraid I will be of little use to you. Very well.
Both times you saved us, we were transported across great distances in an instant. Is that one of your powers as the moon goddess?
It is, but I find it very draining. I barely managed to pull it off just now. Rejected by the world, my power is dwindling. Like a lake, cut off from its source, slowly shrinking away. Now,
What do you mean, rejected by the world?
the 3 moons belong to the ancient bygone era in which they came into being. From the moment I was born, the world itself has been steadily sapping away at my strength. The 3 moons are not one and the same. As the goddess of the Frost Moon, I cannot wield the powers of the other 2. Yet moonlight has a way of blending together. Each can reflect the other's glow. So when our fingers touched, I was able to restore my strength by drawing Kuvaki from the... But this method of recovery is painfully slow. If only we could find the...
It's the Wild Hunt! even faster than we
See how those wild hunt creatures are running away from us. They're likely...
Then what are we waiting?
Начинается настоящий экшен. Надают Инефу, Флинса, Лауму, Айну. Ну, начнется. Сейчас немножко будет лагать жестко, потому что на максимальных графиках, да еще жесткий мега урон от Флинса будет. Подождите. Смотрите внимательно. Бам, бам, бам. Все тут просто нафиг. Видели? Видели? Жестко. Флинс всех отдубасил. Всех отфигачил. Очень жестко. Всех отфигачил. Опять используем ульт. Постепенно я так привык постепенно иногда подряд использовать ульты разных персов. Сейчас еще мощнее. Смотрите, сколько урона наносит прокачанный Флинс. Это потому что лунный заряд у него есть. Можно даже так. Офигеть сколько. Даже ненужная лаума. Жестко пошел. Настоящий жестко. Сенсация даже пошла. Значит, ему можно это на луну. Ай на луну. И помните же, где конечно нужно для... Если вспомнить. Много урона, так что даже звук лагает. Сейчас должен прийти очень важный для всего этого персонажа. Видите, персонажи не сравняться с силой, которую я тут устроил. Ой, да, в этом моменте я еще ульту Дилюка воспользовался, когда все закончил. Ну, тут придет наш любимый Варка. Эффектное появление в сюжету самого магистр Ордов Авониуса Варка. Вот же он, могучий челик, выше любого перса, которого вы знали. Гигачата, мегачата, супер гигачат, который спиздил у Дилюка ульту.
What's the matter? Bit off more than you could chew?
Uncle Varka! You're back from Amspartnir? Whoa! You're Varka? Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius?
We could save the intros for later. Right now, let's get you all out of this hellhole. Follow me. I know somewhere you'll be safe.
Oh, is that where I think it is?
That's the one. Come on, move!
И пройти мысль базу, где остановилась остальная часть Ордов Авониуса. Долгая прогрузка, как всегда. Что-то долго прогружается, ну ладно, бывает. О, сейчас начнется. Где часть Ордов Авониуса оказалась?
Wow! Where are we?
Well, that goes without saying. This is the Knights of Favonius' meeting place in Nodcry, and a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network. AKA, the black market of intel. No matter what faction you're with, it's the place to buy and sell information. Their headquarters are in Nodcry, but they've got contacts in as an expeditionary force on foreign soil. Working with them has offered us the most effective way of getting our hands on reliable local intel. This is where we meet, so naturally, it's secure. Anyway, where were we? Folks from Nodcry should be pretty familiar with me by now. But I believe this is the first... Allow me to introduce myself. I am Varka, Knight of Boreas, and Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius.
We've heard all about you. This meeting's been a long time coming.
Опять эти сообщения, как они меня замучили. Вот в неподходящий момент я, видно, снимал это видео.
You
Ладно.
look way younger than Paimon expected. But you definitely have that Grand Master vibe.
Well, I'm no spring chicken. Just not showing my age yet. Definitely feeling some of that back pain today, though. Rushed back from Amsfartnir without a wink of sleep,
Там, где он
only to get right
появился,
into
в
another
самом
fight
углу
with that
сварки,
freshly
но до
revived
мне
maniac.
известно, вдруг он не Варка.
Another? You mean you fought him before?
Yep. He wasn't nearly as strong back then, but he was still a formidable foe. I brought some of the knights along to give him a little surprise, but he saw us coming from a mile off.
Задается вопрос, вряд ли Варка восстановился так быстро. 100% что-то тут нечисто.
My squad took heavy injuries, and I barely made it out alive myself. We knew it might have been our last chance, so we staked everything on it. But still, it wasn't... I tried tracking him down afterwards, but he didn't leave a trace. Even in his unhinged mental state, he's as cautious as any trained operative. So, I decided to come find you. And as luck would have it, turned up to find you being ambushed by the Wild Hunt.
Is that why he's been frantically absorbing Kuvaki these past few days? Because he sees you as a threat?
Maybe I'm part of the equation, but even if I weren't, I'm sure he'd still be gathering power. He's clearly working up towards something.
Note to self, Uncle Varka's strength rating officially upgraded.
Как думаете, Рижер точно был настоящим?
Guess it's my turn to ask questions now. So, what exactly has been happening in Nodcry? Why has the Wild Hunt returned in humanoid form? And why is it after you?
It's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick.
Быстро посвящает Варку в курсе дела.
Wow, I had no idea so much had happened. Sounds like you guys have really been through it. So, the Kutar is actually a Fatui Harbinger. And all this Wild Hunt activity in Nodcry is the work of the Raker of Solnari, one of the 5 sinners. That's a lot to take in. Need some time to wrap my head around it all.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Vark. You stood with us against the Wild Hunt, and did everything you could to stop it from escalating into a full-blown catastrophe. And then, the one time you're away, it all comes to a head and all your hard work gets undone.
You've got nothing to apologize for, Miss Moonchanter. You can plan 100 steps ahead and still slip up. That's just life. No one knows what tomorrow holds. You can't predict which way the wind will blow next. And, to be perfectly honest, I can't say I'm surprised. For all the times we've defeated the Wild Hunt in the past, we've never been able to completely wipe it out. Turns out, we were just delaying the inevitable. But now that a new variable has come into play, fate may well take a different course.
A new variable? You mean us?
Who else? And in a strange way, I think his resurgence might not be an entirely bad thing. The Wild Hunt is like an unrelenting force of nature, but Rerir is an individual with an agenda. He's gotta have a weak spot. That said, while I was explaining everything just now, some of the points that Mr. Flint's added caught my attention.
You mean about our mystery ally?
That's right. From what you've said, not only did they lead you straight to some key files, they also shielded Hisi Island from a lethal Kuvaki blast. I don't know who or what could pull something like that off. Heck, even Miss Columbina doesn't have a clue.
I hadn't heard the story about those files. Would you mind repeating their titles for me?
Wild Hunt Phenomena Log, a Nodcryan Ratnik's Field Journal, and...
Oh.
Another dead end. Guess all we can do now is hope that our mystery ally keeps showing up when we most need them. Still, it's safest to assume they won't be intervening again. From here on out, we'll have to resolve this crisis by ourselves. Your intel also explains something else I've been wondering about. The reason I led my team to Amsfartnir was because we'd had reports about a possible source of the Wild Hunt showing up there. But once we looked into it, it turned out to be a red herring. I don't know who was behind it, but clearly, it served its purpose. I doubt it's by chance that he happened to make his comeback while my attention was diverted. And from everything you told me, it sounds like his scheming began well before his return. So maybe luring me away was all a part of his plan. But is it even possible that he orchestrated all of this by himself? The Moon Maiden and the Raker of Solnari, not-Cry of all places. The way everything is unfolding, it can't be a coincidence.
So, what do we do now?
Right now, we've got at least 3 things to consider. Let's go through them one by one. First, we need to figure out how to take down Rerir. If we can't beat him in a straight-up fight, the rest won't even matter. To my knowledge, the bulk of not.Cry's fighting force is already gathered here. But even with everyone united, we're still no match for Rerir in his current state, let alone with his power still growing.
What if there was a way to tap into a new power of our own?
How so?
Have you thought of something, Columbina? 3 moons once watched over this world. The Eternal Moon was the largest. The Frost Moon was the brightest. And the Iridescent Moon was the most mysterious. They say that back then, the 3 moon goddesses wielded immense power. Enough to shape the workings of the world. I now bear the Frost Moon's power, and the Eternal Moon's marrow resides within the Traveler.
Hold on. Are you suggesting?
The iridescent moon. The last piece in the
That's right. If we can find the Iridescent Moon's marrow...
The 3 moons are said to stir the tides and illuminate all things. Perhaps they hold further secrets.
According to my analysis, the solution is feasible. However, it is...
I know a way, but... we will need to visit the Fatui's experiment... The Experimental Design Bureau? Are you... Yes. I must speak with Central...
It's a long way from here to the Experimental Design Bureau. There's a high chance you'll be spotted. You shouldn't go alone.
Then that's settled. Next up, our second priority. Somehow, as you saw for yourselves, when he was still in his Wild Hunt form, everything he did was for the sake of recovering his body and resurrecting himself. His first act since then, after laying low for a while, was to try... People's obsessions often reveal their greatest vulnerabilities. There must be a reason why he despises the moon so deeply. Perhaps it sheds some light on his title. The Wild Hunt has plagued not.Cry for centuries now. If we want to stop it for good, we have to get to the root cause of what's driving it.
It's true. We still know very little about him. If Kuthar hadn't given us that lead, we wouldn't even know his name.
But where would we even start? I doubt even the Intel Queen of not.Cry has a clue, and she has info coming out of her ears.
Oh? That's a rather hasty conclusion for someone who's so painstakingly meticulous when it comes to dealing with machines.
А вот и Нефертити, или как еще можно обозвать ее? Хз.
She heard me.
Boss! What are you doing here?
I'm now asking myself the same question. I received a letter from a humble knight of Favonius, requesting a meeting to discuss a major business deal. But it looks like this humble knight had something else in mind.
Details, details. Miss Neffer, the important thing is that you've arrived at the perfect... Since his failed ambush, I've been racking my brains trying to come up with a plan to fight Rerir. Given the severity of the situation, I think it's fair to say that our only chance lies in uniting as one. And I'm talking all the factions in not.Cry. We can't do this without the Curatorium. But I knew it'd be a tough job to win you over. So, I took the liberty of reaching out for a little chat.
even hear about this place, Nefer? Didn't you say this is meant to be the Knights of Favonius' meeting spot? And a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network? And isn't it supposed to be super hidden?
You really think he could have gotten settled in Nodcry without my help? Besides, I'm the one running this gig. Of course I know where the meeting place is.
Allow me to introduce the current head of the Northern Intelligence Network. If it's intel you're after, she's your woman. Pretty much seen and heard it all.
Please spare me the flattery. Let's cut to the chase. Seems like you've run into some trouble, huh? Well, this certainly qualifies as an unforeseen crisis. On behalf of the Curatorium of Secrets, I wish you all the best of luck.
So you're just going to sit this one out?
Why should I get involved? What could possibly be in it for me?
What if we told you we can't do this without you?
Oh? Then I'd say, you'd better make it worth my while. I don't work for free.
I can't put a price on something like this. It's just not in my nature. But then again, you and I have always been polar opposites in this regard. So if you insist on compensation, I will pay you. Consider this a formal commission.
You just don't give up, do you? Too bad. I know you well enough to know you can't afford my prices. The riskier the job, the more it'll cost. And a Moonchanter's stipend isn't exactly generous. Unless you're planning to start passing the donation box around among the faithful.
Boss, just a thought. If they come up short, maybe you can take the difference out of my next few paychecks. Things got really dangerous during the fight with Rerir. If this girl hadn't saved me, I'd be ley line fodder by now. I'd be gone for... If there's any way we can make this work, I'd really...
This is why I'm always telling you never accept favors. They are the hardest debts to repay. You have to be careful who you get involved with, or you invite all kinds of misfortune. Very well, Yehoda, I will help. But just this once. Flynn's. That fragment that Rerir was after. Do you still have it on?
Of course.
Let me borrow it. I need it to follow up on some leads.
Wait, you actually have some lead?
Shh. This is top secret information.
I get it. We all have things we'd rather keep to ourselves. Plus, I know we can count on you, so we'll leave the intel gathering in your hands. And that brings me to the third and final item. We need to find a way to distract him. We need time to make our move, so someone will have to stall him. I'm in for this part, no matter what. Anyone
Count me in too.
Come off it, you two. Quit playing heroes. I'm way ahead of you here. And Nefa did a scan of the Moon Goddess's Kuvaki signature, and we're gonna use it to make some decoys over at the Kramkake craft shop. Anyone who's in, follow me. Once they're ready, we'll...
I like it. Genius.
No biggie.
All right then. We'll split into 3 teams. Once your team has finished their mission, return here and wait for the others. Dismissed!
Короче, обсудили план. План начнется. Мы уходим, сваливаем. И все по плану идем. Первое начинается. Это мы с Колумбиной будем проститься у Сандрона что-то. Но потом мы узреем очень жесткий экшен. Вы скоро об этом узнаете. Пока что ждем этой изгрузки. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Смешно тут нарисовано, там загрузка. Смотрите, как смешно выглядит. Так. О, ну сейчас начнется очень интересный сюжет.
Lady Damselette. Wait. And you two? What are you doing at the Kuvaki? We've been doing our best to mind our own business lately. But if you're just gonna waltz up here like this, you're seriously pressing your luck. Don't blame us for doing what we have to.
We're not looking for any trouble. I just want to see Sandrone.
Do I need to remind you that you're still a wanted fugitive for deserting us? Out of consideration for our former ties and the crisis we're all up against, we'll let you leave in one piece. But don't even think about trying to get inside.
Let them in.
But...
Are you going to make me repeat that?
no. My...
Sandrone seems to be in a good mood. Must be maintenance day.
Им хотя бы повезло, то, что Сандрон согласился их взять. Но мы знаем, что придумала наша Колумбина. О, Делюк. Ждем прогрузки.
So tell me, to what do I owe the honor this time? Actually, before you answer that, just so we're clear, we're not colleagues anymore, Columbina. I don't owe you anything.
I promise it's nothing big.
It seems like you've gotten the wrong idea here. The only reason I let you in was because I was bored. It seemed like a way to kill some... Whatever miscalculations I may or may not have made in the past, I haven't lost the plot enough to even consider sticking my neck out for your sakes.
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
What? Huh? You mean the knave?
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
No, she's not. Once the work on this facility was completed, she went back with the Rooster and Regrator. The only ones in Nodcry are me and... What is it you need to speak to her about?
Rerir is hunting me. If I'm going to face him, I must first retrieve the lost moon. Is that a no, then?
As if I need reminding. I was this close to settling things with him before someone decided to whisk me away to their weird little garden.
Have you held any tea parties lately?
Tea parties? Yeah, obviously. You don't seriously think we'd pack it all in just because you aren't here. If anything, they've been more eventful than ever. Just me, Arlecchino, and a bunch of insolent, insensitive guests who won't stop asking where you've gone. Oh, they've been a real joy.
I bet you served them the worst tea you have. Just like you used to do to me when I upset you.
Who cares about how good the tea is when there's no one around to drink it? I keep losing people. First Rosaline, now you. I'm running out of people who can make me laugh. Honestly, what could be more ridiculous than the multi-centenarian goddess, who's only ever had the plain herbal tea she received as offerings?
Вот такой эксперимент на Колумбине был. Любой человек приносила на проверку реакции. Какой вина, что
You'd always brew a different type of tea for me each time.
чая.
Was it really just to see how I'd react? Well, duh. Why else? Watching you squirm was practically my only form of entertainment. Oh, yeah. And Capitano sometimes used to bring Tartaglia around, too. But I guess we won't be seeing him again. Well, I guess we are overdue for a get-together. Have Febronia pass a message to Arlecchino for me. It's time for tea. Will suffice. Pass along a message for me, too, if you would. My body cannot contain the marrow of 2 moons, so I'll be leaving one of them in her care. Excuse me? Who said you were on the guest list? If my tea meant that much to you, maybe quitting the Fatui was back when you were under the Tsaritsa's protection. No one would have dared come at you so openly. But that protection didn't come for free. In fact, I paid dearly for it. At the end of the day, it was just another transaction. I just got tired, that's all. I never wanted any part in their grand ambitions, and I've had enough of being treated like a bottomless supply of power. It brings back memories from the old days, when I was still worshipped as the moon goddess. Centuries on, it may be a different group of people, but I see the same greed in their eyes. I figured you'd leave eventually. You didn't have as much of a reason to stay as I do. The Tsaritsa gave you shelter and protection, but that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Meanwhile, the Fatui demanded everything from you in return, until it was more than you could bear. I get why you left. And frankly, I have no interest in dragging you back just because the higher-ups told me to. But if you keep hanging around with this riffraff, the next time we cross paths, we might be enemies for real. Guess that's our cue to leave? That might be your plan. But it sounds like someone else wants you to Huh? What do you mean? Listen.
My lady, it's the Wild Hunt. A horde of monsters is headed straight for the facility.
Another uninvited guest trying to crash my tea party. Clear the area! I'll handle this. Wait, what? You want us to leave you here by yourself? Huh. You'll be lucky to make it out of this alive. You really think you can afford to worry about— Go on, get out of here! You may have stopped Polonia from crushing him last time, but I've made sure that won't happen again. The entire Experimental Design Bureau is rigged for war. Stay and watch if you want, but it'll be at your own risk. You're not flagged as friendlies in the weapons system. Don't tell me what to do! Look, if you're leaving, make it quick. Or you'll— Stare all you want, Columbina. You're not getting another invitation to my tea party. I know. But thank you anyway. This is exactly why you shouldn't hang around with those people. All their melodrama and sentimental nonsense is rubbing off on you. Come on then, Mr. Ray here. Let's pick up where we left off. It's your Wild Hunt monstrosities versus my beautiful creations. Let's see who comes out on top.
Короче, начинается боевой экшен. На нас напал Ририр со своей бандой гулей. Короче, начнем всех убивать. Просто всех уничтожить. Надо всех уничтожить. Самое главное, не говорить. Чем ниже ХП, тем мы не сможем даже хотя походу, на нас напали. Один прошел, ёшки, вот я это заметил, привидел. Просто жестко мы их расстреливаем, расстрел. Вот так хочется дождаться следующего. О, следующий момент. Ну, тут перестрелочка, мы превращаемся в другого челика. Другого бота. Наконец-то помощнее оружие. Ну, смотрите, как мы бомбим их всех. С такой мощью теперь точно нормально играешь против них. Просто взрываешь всех своих путей. От них даже мокрого места не остается. Банда Ририра просто падает на колени. Просто... Это просто как тот момент, когда воспользовался с каждого ульты и фигачил с таким большим уроном, что все эти были просто издыхали быстрее, чем могли не нанести какой-нибудь урон. Просто продолжаем делать, а я молчу. Когда наконец-то уже перейдем к следующему уроку. Эх, так хочется ускорить процесс. О, все, пошла анимация. Тут жесткий бой. А теперь снайперская винтовка, ребята. Снайперская винтовка. Все, будем расстрел. Расстрел издалека. Теперь мы снайперы, ребята, будем стрелять со снайперки. Один выстрел, они умерли. Как будто со снайперки стреляешь. Опача, смотрите-ка, у нас тут еще гости приходят, еще больше и больше. Так, будем их убивать. Нужно зачистить эту базу, но все равно. Так, мы ее достреливаем их. И вот, наконец-то, другой кадр. Сейчас будет еще жестче, мне кажется. Ну, тут жесткая оборона. Ну все, посмотрим, что там мы будем делать. Сейчас надо уничтожить вот этих гигачат. Убиваем гигачатов, мегачаты, супер гигачаты. Они просто ворвались туда, куда им не нужно. Да, гигачаты, их надо сразу же убивать, они слишком много. Короче, они мнение, что они здесь главные. Жесткие типы, их очень трудно победить, потому что они очень гигачатные, много в них ХП надо и стрелять. Нет, их слишком много, мне кажется, слишком много. Нам не получится никак их победить. Но пока что у меня полная хана, мне просто умение нормально стрелять в таком близком расстоянии. Внимание, механизм сильно поврежден. Все. Вот он, лунный мститель. Вижу Ририра. Вы видите, там Ририр идет. Ой, камера упала. Камеру вырубать. Вот что он, видно, сказал. Камеру вырубайте, а я пошел.
Get him!
I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for all.
She's not here. Where did she go?
Hey! Over here, you big...
Cursed moon.
короче, он говорит своей банде. Ну, короче, свалим, тут нет нашей цели. А они потом, ну, конечно же, ушли. Ну, короче, Полоний не сработал. Сейчас будем узнавать ту самую историю Рира. Ждем загрузочки. Посмотрите, там и Нефертити, Нефр нарисован. Ждем, когда все прогрузится, а то он долго грузится. Грузит.
So this is your method for investigating Rarir's past. It almost looks like some kind of...
Good deduction. But it's quite a different affair from what you're used to with the Frostmoon Scions.
Whoa! First time I've ever been in here. Boss always said it was off limits, so I pictured some kind of creepy dungeon. But it's actually kinda nice. Oh, I guess this must be Sumero decor? That's where Boss is from. And that nice shopkeeper who sold me my treasure compass.
I'm not sure exactly what you've got planned, but it looks like you're all set. When do we begin?
Whenever we wish. But for some reason, I've got a feeling this isn't going to end. I've never faced Rarir myself, but from what you've told me, his power is beyond anything I could imagine. I, on the other hand, am just an ordinary businesswoman. Our paths should never have crossed, yet here I am, forced to make an enemy of him.
If you ask me, you're about as far from ordinary as it gets. So what are you saying? You're getting cold feet?
Once I take a job, there's no backing out. Still, I have to ask myself if the power I'm relying on will even work on an opponent of this caliber. And also how to make sure I come out of this alive if things spiral out of control. Death is the one thing we can take for granted. It is the great equalizer, however fortunate or unfortunate we may otherwise be. So it's important to consider how to spend what lifespan we have left.
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death.
For once, I agree with you. When you're up against a foe like Rarir, there's no such thing as being too prepared. Is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been saving for a rainy day. Yehoda, I need you to find someone for me. The sooner the better.
Eh? Find who?
That shady merchant who sold you an overpriced treasure compass the other day.
Come on, boss. You're pulling my leg again. In what way is she shady? She showed up when I was completely lost and sold me a neat little... Anyway, I know who you're talking about. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Вскоре, когда меня замучили эти чертовы сообщения.
Hey, aren't you...
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee. See, look how easy go.
Dori Sangama Bay? I never would have pictured you two doing business together.
If you want to make it big and not cry, it's all about connections. Lady Nefer just so happens to have a lot of intel that interests me.
And she also did me a big favor in the... It was back when I first arrived in Not Cry. My trusty assistant, the genie in my lamp, had an adverse reaction to the Kuvaki and fainted. And when you know it, that's when I suddenly find myself in a life-or-death situation. Good thing my compatriot was there to swoop in, and I've been giving her a 30% discount off all of my goods ever since. Now, so that no one here feels left out, I'm willing to plus any other friends you send my way will enjoy 10% off. What can I say? The great Lord Sangamabe is nothing if not generous. So, let me guess. You've run into some trouble. I've got everything you could possibly need, and the more you buy, the more you'll save.
You guessed correctly. What have you got in the way of...
At the very least.
What if I told...
Is that so? Then we really are...
You're...
a powerful... If you're willing...
Then let...
Of course not! I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No?
Let's just say favors are the worst kind of debt.
Fine. You can borrow it for 5 days. No, make that 3. And for every extra hour after that, I'm charging you 1,000,000 mora. Deal?
Deal.
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
That will be all. Take care now. Don't...
See you later! You're...
Excellent. Everything is well and truly ready. The ceremony can now begin. After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. You will see many strange... So remember, don't be frightened. Now then, let us peer into the Raker of Solnari's past.
Сейчас будем телепортироваться, и мы наконец-то узнаем, кто такой на самом деле частично лунный мститель и его прошлым немножко.
I made it. I don't recognize this style of architecture. Must be Conrian.
Логично, корианцы жили под землей, где еще откуда так все будет выглядеть. Да и еще... Ладно.
Simple furnishings, table and chairs. It's a more ordinary house. Looks like the fearsome Raker of Solnari came from surprisingly humble beginnings. Unless this passed for luxury in Conria. Unlikely. It was said to be a... Anyway.
О, ждем прогрузки. О, можно поиграть за Нефер. Давайте посмотрим, что тут у нее. Так, ну, это ее вина, характеристики, которые мы видим. Дальше, что тут у нас? Оружие, ну, это ее ульта, арты, С3. Дофига нам С3. Таланты. А это мой сенсу. Такие он прокачан. Арты ему убрал. Вот С2. Это мой альхатамчик, мой любимчик. Вот такие арты. Ну надо, дендрурон. А это моя часка. Вот она. Это мой любимый люк на ХП. Сделал вот так с С6. С такими талантами. Делюк мой любимый, Делюк из самых любимых из всех персов. Мне нравится только он, Делюк. Но после него его брат идет. Вот такой у него 50-звездочное оружие надыбыл. Вот такой у него арты стоят. Ну, не получилось выбить то, что нужно, и ну, такое есть. И идет Кея. Кея тоже арты отобрали. Да, Кирилла. Это мой Кирилл Чудомирич. Но сейчас он другой, потому что у меня более прокачан. 75 уровень и другие арты. На нем хотя бы уже это более-менее как 2К урона. Как раз ему так нужно. Я уже могу докачать до 90 уже скоро. Оружие хотя бы тоже у меня уже на 80 стоит. Ну, тут отличие большое. Бонус физурона из-за одного арта, который есть. Ну, такой у меня отряд. И самое ненавидимое это вот это С2, который я хотел выбить на Кирилла, но я все равно его выбил. Ну, еще когда выбивал, получил этого временное. Мне он тоже понравился в Фонтейне. Есть Нори, конечно же, Сахарос. Сахарос мне... Какой у меня? У меня С2. Самое странное, это... Ну да, вот такой у него меч, нет. Такие необычные таланты, но не кинь. Зачем они на нет придумали? Ладно. Про Калею может сейчас быть. Да, на Калею. Посмотрим на ее С4, которая откуда-то надыбыл. Так, ну где-то помню, у меня еще было еще похуже. Да, С5 Айна. Короче, пошли искать нужную вещь. Записывай. Почему я говорю, у меня Флинс уже скоро на 70-м, потому что у меня заранее видео было заснято.
Since you're working extra hours tonight, I thought I'd keep myself busy by checking out that new kebab shop. I've heard good things about their menu. I'll test it out, and if it's as good as everyone's saying, let's go back together sometime. P.S. New stash from the Universitas Magistrorum. I brought some goodies home. A few teacups and a pin rack. Hope you like them.
They didn't sign their name, but they must have been close. Sounds like they were living together.
Как всегда, мы должны найти то, что нужно, подходим и... Но самое прикольное это уже будет, когда мы посмотрим на зеркало. Ну, на зеркало вот прикольно скоро будет.
I went over to Joseph's for drinks today. They have a fine collection, but I went alone. Felindis was tied up with something and couldn't make it. Joseph asked why I came alone, but I didn't really have an answer. He then went on to ask about other things. If you ask me, someone who asks that many personal questions is too nosy for their own good. But if he invites me again, chances are I'd still go.
The Lindis. That's the same name Rerir mentioned.
Crane imports keep falling. If things don't pick up, we'll soon be back to meat and mushrooms only. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that new type of mushroom everyone's been into lately. Didn't it start out as a lab-grown variety? I heard it's even mildly corrosive. Seriously, why would you even eat something like that? I don't care if it's an impressive feat of alchemy. That just isn't the kind of thing I like to eat.
Grain has to be imported, and they're eating a diet of mostly meat and mushrooms. Could it be because Conria is underground, so it doesn't get much sunlight? That would explain why they use so much stone in their buildings. They even use alchemically modified strains for food. Seems like the people of Conria don't have many options when it comes to dining.
I've just about saved up enough now. Time to buy it and keep it somewhere safe.
Making a big purchase. I wonder what it is. He really is a professional. No wonder he's so good at covering his tracks. Despite what he's become, it seems like he's retained certain habits, at least in this regard. Did Rary rip it out himself?
Before I met you, I was convinced that my heart was nothing more than a the burial place of a fallen moon. A withered, windless grove where the waters rested forever unrippled. It was you who helped me see that my heart hadn't entirely withered away.
This is just trivial sentimentality from the looks of it. Why would he go to the trouble of the burial place of a fallen moon?
Ну, сейчас мы дойдем до места и увидим самого Рерира раньше, как он выглядел до появления своих сил.
Rerir, over here.
Dane! Oh, and, Vedalfin here?
Hello there, Rerir. You need not address me so formally outside of court.
He doesn't get that much free time, so I invited him over for a drink. Even the court prophet deserves a break every now and then, right?
Well, so, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it, we don't need an excuse to have a few drinks.
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to pop the big question? How's that coming along?
Who'd have thought the great Twilight Sword was an even greater gossip?
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
Yeah. If you told me that a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed you either.
So, are you planning to come clean about your job then? I'm guessing you still haven't told her.
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need to pick the right time and place. To be honest, I have no idea how she'll take it.
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. For all you know, she could be thrilled. I bet she'll be much more impressed by your actual job than the one she thinks you're doing now. A member of the King's Guard. Quite the cover story. Does the king himself even know?
Of course he does. Anyway, enough about me. How have you been?
Me? Same old, same old. Nothing much to... Huh? What's up, Ved?
It's nothing.
Vedalfin, Dainslift's elder brother. Renowned throughout the court of Conria as the Visionary. And said to possess... And yet, despite the gulf between us, he seems to have something to say about me. Does he even know me? Does he see me as a friend of his brother, or just another of the Vinster King's blades? Why did he react so strongly? Was it really to do with what we were talking about?
Brown, curly hair and brooding blue eyes. So this is what Rerir looked like back in the day. Perfectly normal. No different from anyone else. As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's something even more
Как всегда, мы опять пойдем обратно и будем слушать, что будет дальше, потому что мы смотрим историю Рерира. Сейчас начнется прикол со зеркалом. Смотрите внимательно. Теперь мы Рерир. Если что, рядом женщина, это будущая жена Рерира, которая неизвестно, что с ней случилось.
You're back early.
Our equipment's being serviced today, so I got off earlier than usual. How's your day been? Aw, why the long face? Is something the matter? Has your boss been giving you a hard time again?
Went for a drink with Dane and the others after work.
Isn't that a good thing?
Vediflunir showed up today too. You know, Daneslif's older brother.
Ah, Mr. Vediflunir. Yes, I've heard of him. They say that everything he says ends up coming true.
He overheard Daneslif mention that I'd recently proposed and seemed to have an issue with it. But when I asked what it was, he kept it to himself.
So, you're worried? You can be such a child sometimes, Revier. We're nobodies. Why would the Visionary be concerned about us? I'm sure someone in his position has much bigger fish to fry.
Maybe you're right.
You worry too much, Revier. We've been together for ages now, and everything's been going so well, has it not? You've even proposed to me.
So, you do remember. Tell me then.
Like I said, I need some time to decide. You can't just rush into things like this. We may be nobodies in the grand scheme of things, but if we want things to work out, we've still got to plan ahead.
All right. Take your time. Just don't keep me waiting forever. Nobodies. Sounds about right. In the eyes of people like Vediflunir and Daneslif, what do we matter? Can someone whose gaze is so fixed on a far-flung future even see the present clearly? Yet the king has never even considered a gentler approach, and he never will. What becomes of someone who kills on another's behalf? Thalendis?
Еще иногда в некоторые моменты у меня телефон поворачивался, и мне приходилось жестко монтировать обратно, чтобы не крутилось. Немножко лагать будет. Но это немножко это будет поворачиваться, но на самом деле оно не поворачивает.
There's no reason we can't keep living happily together. Cherishing.
See? You just need to stay positive, Revier. I can feel your warmth, your breath. You're right there, right by my side. Just seeing you makes me happy in a way I can't explain. And that's something that no one could ever take away from me.
You're right, Thalendis. I've just been overthinking things.
That's better. Getting caught up about things like this will only ruin our evening. Speaking of which, all set for the ball tonight? I need to go get ready.
You go ahead. I just have a few things to take care of, then I'll come join you.
Even busier than the big shots, huh? Fine, I'll go get started. But don't be late. If you keep me waiting too long, I won't be a happy bunny.
Relax. I'll be there. Seriously, though, you drive a hard bargain. You're really gonna leave my proposal hanging and still expect me to take you to the ball?
Well, that goes without saying. I already told everyone I'd be coming with a dance partner. Besides, they're two completely different things. Let's take it one thing at a time, all right?
All right. White outfit it is.
It seems like Rerir was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence services. By giving the impression that he was just an ordinary member of the Finster Kings, he clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancé to know about his other life. Then again, that's hardly surprising. People in the intelligence trade rarely do. Who'd have thought we were in the same line of work? Let's dig a little deeper.
Сейчас начнется прикольный момент. Смотрите на зеркало. Думаю, разработчики очень сильно замучились вот это делать. Как сделать так, что шаг Нефер шагал и сам Режир. Это очень прикольно, как они сделали. И смешно. Ассоциация. На самом деле она женщина, а на самом деле двухметровый мужчина. Сейчас немножко поиграемся.
Our last operation was a resounding success, and all thanks to you, Raihir of Solnari. In total, we apprehended 32 dregs of the Crimson Moon, and 67 accomplices.
After all these years since the dynasty's fall, so many of them still linger on.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was destiny that the Crimson Moon should be overcome by the eclipse, and that His Majesty, the all-seeing Finster King, now guides our nation on the path to prosperity. Conria has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be those who refuse to see the truth, choosing instead to romanticize the past.
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was worthy of remembrance, and that's exactly why they keep trying to see it restored. Many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day. As it happens, that's precisely the field of study my partner is devoted to.
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners? That your hands are steeped in blood?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did. Orphans like us don't get a say.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous in the way we identify direct descendants of the Crimson Moon. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular. I have a feeling that we may soon become targets of the Crimson Moon's retribution.
Your concerns are not unfounded. They've taken out many of our colleagues these past few years, and for that very reason. These are... Take care, Raihir of Solnari. I look forward to toasting you at your wedding.
Thanks, Thorkel. Thelindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But That's exactly why I can't tell you everything. There are things you shouldn't know. Things... The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, there are those who would call forth a dead moon's ghost. Could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because of some court secret he's not at liberty to share? I have to get a clear answer from him. No matter what happens, I will protect the Lindis.
Rerir seems to be very concerned by Vedalfnir's Vedalfnir and Dainsleif, the Visionary and Twilight Sword. I've investigated this whole area now. There doesn't seem to be any other... Should I try somewhere else? Wait a second. What's this black...
Сейчас вот тут мы зайдем в одно воспоминание и увидим, как мы увидим одного родственника, короче, или дедушку, или бабушку самой этой Арлекин.
So, he's late after all. Just you wait, Rerir. You're in for it. Big time.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am? Could I tempt you into buying some flowers?
Oh, sure. Pick me out a pretty bunch if you...
Thank you. But I'm afraid none of them are as pretty as you.
For someone so young, you sure have a way with words, don't you?
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not lying. May we have a word in private?
Who are you? And what do you want?
It doesn't matter who I am. Too many of our kind have fallen lately, so I decided to take the risk of reaching out. Not long ago, the Ray here of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds. We suffered many casualties, and many who came to our aid lost their lives as well.
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me this. And I don't want to get involved.
Wait. Hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rerir, and he claims to be one of the King's guards.
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But surely, you must have caught a whiff of the blood on his hands.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Simple.
How strange. Rerir was nowhere to be seen in that memory. Rerir couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even... Why would her memories appear in his fragment? The ceremony won't last much longer. I think it's time to...
Вот там вопрос, почему она оказалась в воспоминании Ририра, то есть там, где сам ребенок плюс древний предок и Арлекин. Ну, короче, оказался там в воспоминании Ририра, то есть момент воспоминания самой жены Ририра, будущий, причем это очень интересно. Но сейчас мы будем ждать, когда прогрузится все это.
So that was your... Any more questions?
I gotta admit though,
I'm just as curious as you are. Luckily, we may...
So far, so good. Especially the...
If you're worried about...
if I know boss...
Так, ну теперь мы возвращаемся вместе с Колумбиной вот сюда, и нам приходится одну вещь делать. Пока что мы будем ждать прогрузки. Так, ну здесь, если что, предупреждаю, я же видео заранее снимаю, у меня уже там совсем по-другому. Ну, короче, прогрузилось. Короче, это мой. Сейчас они разговор начнут, я помогу.
They've been prowling around for nearly 2 days now. Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but them... Oh, that's enough. If they spot us, they'll run straight...
Короче, наша задача это сейчас незаметно вам пробраться. Ну ладно. Короче, Гидра ГГ. Гидра мой ГГ. Флинс. Сейчас Флинса надо навыки прокачать. Ну и его самого. Но у меня уже так он до 75-го прокачан. Или 2К урона. Так, сейчас посмотрим по гиду. Нет, еще не закончили. Гидрогогол у меня сделан так, чтобы он у меня одновременно, вот как-то сделал так, что он был хиллером. То есть у меня из-за того, что C6 есть, он может хилить отряд. Так, ага, понятно, куда. Ну, еще сделать его как-то саб-ДД. О, из-за этого вот этих ребят надо, вот, по сути, как-то уйти, вот. Тут же задание. Спрятаться от патруля диких. Вот и. Блин, самое неудобное в этом, это когда вот это движение, вот сказать, всего. И это глюч. Так. Гидро-ГГ. Ну, я его сейчас пересобираю по артам. У меня арты надо как-то на повышение ХП, на гидроурон и на бонус лечению из фонтейна брать. И еще суммер, помните, там повышение ХП, да еще прибавок там же был на гидроурон. Ну, бонус гидроурон. У меня уже есть из повышения ХП на гидроурон. То есть, ну, бокал на гидроурон. Осталось получить немножко на гидроурон и типа, чтобы в артах было из этих бонусов бонус гидроурону. И прибавок бонус к лечению из фонтейна, который можно раздобыть. Ну и сделать взрыв этих элементов, он же может просто один выстрел. Ну и меч, по моему мнению, можно выбрать 3 меча. Меч 7 для того, чтобы он атаковал. Ну, сила атаки была у него большая, если вы прекратите сражаться на его пистолете в дальнем, поверите в ближнем. Ну или меч церемониальный для повторного выстрела. И еще меч, который у него по сюжету на плане, и этого над края есть.
Fire. Fire? Wait, what's that smell? Oh no, there's a fire!
Sandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way. Word has it that you did something for the Tsaritsa, and that's why you've lost most of your power. Freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino! You came!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while.
Короче, нас спасла Арлекин, и сейчас мы переходим к Сандроне, где мы встретим нашу любимую троницу. Это Лини, Линет и Фремине. Жаль, что у меня нет 5-звездочного Лини, но я же играю не так уж давно, чтобы Фонтейн проходить. Но сейчас мы и узнаем, что там будет. Заспойлерю немножко.
Stupid right here of stupid Solnar. He sure doesn't pull his punches.
Excuse me, do you need...
You can do me a favor by staying out of my way. Can't you see I'm busy? Wait a minute.
Hello, Miss Sandrone. Father sent us over to help.
How considerate of her. Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away from my machines. Nearly every machine that
Then let's start downstairs. Fremine, we'll leave this place to you.
You've got it.
Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some, you'll have to make it yourselves.
Короче, у нас все в сборе, и сейчас у нас будет разговор с Релькин, что мы будем дальше делать, и бла-бла-бла. Еще посмотрим на вот эту смешную анимацию загрузки. Ну, она очень смешная вообще. Смотрим тут Люк, Колумбина, Релькин, наш Варка, Лаума и Ягода. Будет очень интересно для вас, что там будет. Так, и мой Делюк. А это мой принц. Просто валим всех принцем. Вот что я делаю. Когда я выкрутил принца, я был жестко удивлен, потому что были последние часы, минуты, секунды, а он выпал. Причем пока я его вкрутил, я получил ту самую C2 медики, на которой я вообще хотел качать. Даже не знаю для чего. Но у меня даже получше есть. Перс, это час. Опача, а легендарный сундук. Надо злутаться, но сделаю потом. Как потом? Я уже давно его злутал, просто видео уже заранее было заснято. Падаем. Эффектный прыжок у Делюка. Ну и ждем, когда все прогрузится. Да, прогрузится. А пока вы что-то делаете, я глажу своего собачонку. Да, собачонку свою. Да иди сюда. Иди сюда, собачонок. О, все начинается.
It's a relief to see you all made it back in one piece.
Huh? Feels like...
I returned ahead of them. Flint is helping Aino and Anefa to set up the...
Boss is still wrapping things up on her end.
I see. Then let's... But first, who do we have here? You brought...
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime Tea Party companion of Columbina's. You may call me Arlecchino.
Surely it can't be.
Those eyes. Oh, where have I seen them before? Wait, of course. In those memories we just saw.
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty uncommon...
You are well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in Nodcry, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya seem to hold a special place in your heart.
Oh, the feeling's mutual. Sounds like you know all about who I am, too.
A Fatui Harbinger.
The atmosphere in here just got really tense. Guess we can't just start trusting Fatui Harbingers. Even...
I must admit, though, I'm a little curious. Seeing as the moon goddess no longer belongs to...
Nor does Nodcry belong to Mondstadt, Mr. Varka. Yet still, you're fighting for it all the same. Things don't always have to have a tangible payoff. Sometimes, stopping things from spiraling out of control is a higher priority than chasing the spoils of victory. Of course, I can't say there's nothing in it for me at all. But that's between Columbina and myself.
Forgive me. I don't mean to doubt you. It's just that the Fatui really have been the source of many of our troubles. We have our own way of doing things here in Notcry. But ever since they arrived, the Fatui have treated—
I know there's been a lot of bad blood between us in the past. I've done my utmost to avoid friction whenever I could. But sometimes fundamental conflicts of interest simply can't be settled amicably. That's why I'm here solely in a personal capacity. This has nothing to do with the Fatui. As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon's marrow, which will help her restore more of her power. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely but she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. I guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers, after all. One look, and you can tell she's not someone you'd want to mess.
Well, since Miss Arlecchino sounds confident in her ability to handle that, we'll proceed to the next topic. Yehoda, time to share that
All right, listen up, everyone. First, we now know that Rerir was originally a Conrian secret agent whose primary mission was to hunt down
the dregs of the Crimson Moon.
In the memories, there was a lot of talk about the Crimson Moon and Eclipse, and a whole bunch of other stuff from the time of Conria.
To my knowledge, those were the names of two different Conrian dynasties. Long, long ago, it is said that the people of Conria worshipped the Crimson Moon. But one day, a coup saw the Crimson Moon eclipsed, hence the name of the new dynasty that replaced it, and how it became the new emblem of Conria.
Still, long after the Crimson Moon dynasty had fallen, the last ruler of the Eclipse dynasty, the Vinster King, still coveted the secrets it left behind. So, he sent the Rehir of Solnari to secretly hunt down the Crimson Moon's few remaining followers. In those days, Rerir showed no signs of madness. In fact, he was as normal as any other person. Oh, and he had a fiancé. Or what's the matter?
Pitifully, Granddaughter! Flinders!
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé of his?
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some—
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contained some of Thelindis's—
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Thelindis was still around, Rerir appeared to be lucid and quite normal. Thelindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me, though.
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian... Oh yeah! Just like how it was with the captain!
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain some of his sanity?
It's possible. but it would take a miracle. We can't pin all our hopes on that. That merchant who never knows, Dori Sangama.
All right then. Let's keep working in our separate teams. Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino will go look for the iridescent moon's marrow. As for the others...
On the way over here, I noticed that the Wild Hunt monsters had grown even more frenzied in their search. At this rate, the people living here will be in grave danger too. So
I'll head back to the curatorium and meet up with the boss.
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be getting on with. Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers have likely begun their own operations too. If that is the... I'll hold the fort for now. Then discuss our next move with Flint's, Aino, and Anefa when they get back.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything,
we'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as...
Relax. Just do your thing. I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Stay safe, everyone.
We're back. Did we get here a little early?
Everything going
Not great. I don't know how long we can stall them for. The decoys are getting I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right! Anefa, could you fill in Uncle Varka on what we just...
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flint's intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in Nodcry in the period leading up to that. That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least, he still lacked the means to act in two places at once.
Flint's, with everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across Nodcry are rallying to fight back against the Wild Hunt. They're gonna need your help. I know. I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something. Anefa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I
told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal is a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Aino's predictions increased.
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel.
It's the obvious choice, isn't it? That's hardly worth...
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsvartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment. Well, I appreciate it, everyone.
Короче говоря, мы уже пришли, и мы вместе с нашим моим любимым Итером или же Люком, Колумбиной и Арлекин отправимся в одно место, чтобы открыть одну вещь. У нас есть, чтобы увеличить силу нашей Колумбины, лунной богини, надо же остальные источники силы двух лун. У одного у ГГшки уже есть. А сама Колумбина — это же лунная богиня, у нее своя сила, значит, осталась от алой луны, то есть радужной, которая есть у Арлекин. Ну я это уже давно прошел, это же видео заранее было заснято, если что, предупреждаю. Видео я заранее заснял без звука, сейчас озвучиваю. Пошли дальше. Еще карту нельзя открыть, но это я давно знаю. Все начинается.
Here, this will serve as a good spot to cross over.
Arlecchino, hold up a second. Since you brought us all this way, we still haven't got the slightest idea what's going on here. And if even Columbina doesn't know where the iridescent moon's marrow is. How do you?
Simple. Because I am an inheritor of the royal bloodline of the Crimson Moon, and one of the last surviving embers of the Two Worlds' flames.
Huh? Are you serious? Isn't you're a descendant of that Crimson Moon dynasty we were just talking about? The one from ancient
Your surprise is understandable. I was also taken aback when I first learned of it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the signs had been there all along. When I was young, I discovered I could wield a very special kind of fire. It coursed like blood through my veins and smoldered away inside my nerves. What's more, whenever I experienced strong bursts of emotion or drew too deeply on this power, it was like some kind of presence within the fire would begin to gnaw away at me, consuming me from the inside out. Exactly. That is why my hands are like this, too. At first, I saw it only as a curse, but once I became a harbinger, the jester apprised me of the truth. Together with my own investigations over the past few years, there are several things that I have gradually... For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its lifespan. Since this blood flame was bestowed upon me by the Crimson Moon, it is a fusion of the iridescent moon's former power and the corruption of the abyss. You all understand the nature of the abyss well enough. I draw upon its power, and in return, it hungers for my soul. This strange blackness is the mark of corruption it has left behind.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a completely different person.
Yes. And that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug-of-war.
Whew. Sounds intense.
Anyway, the rest of my story can wait. Is there anything else about the Crimson Moon or the Iridescent Moon that you're
Paimon has a question! So, the Crimson Moon that the Karians used to worship was actually the Iridescent Moon, right? Which was what... Does that mean that the Karians were to the Crimson Moon as the Frost Moon Scions are to the Frost Moon?
So much of that history has been lost. We have no way of knowing exactly what they were like. But I would suspect that the Conrians weren't as devout in their moon worship as it might appear. The iridescent moon's remains simply served as their link to the abyss. Later on, perhaps someone discovered a way to make direct contact with the abyss. Or maybe there was some kind of ideological divide. Either way, a dissenting faction staged a coup and drove out the royal heirs of the Crimson Moon dynasty. Still, even with the dark sun looming high overhead, the Crimson Moon's glow never truly faded. If you want living proof, it's standing right before you.
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar when I looked at you. I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my eye. In your flames, I saw its broken image.
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research project. Anyway, time is against us here, so if there's any other questions, they'll have to wait. I just want to make sure I've got one thing straight. In her letter, Sandrone mentioned that since you are unable to contain the iridescent moon's marrow yourself, you intend to leave it in my custody, correct?
That's right. For now, it's the iridescent moon is already part of who you are. So with its marrow in your possession...
Deal. Then let's get started.
Get what started? What does this place have to do with the Crimson Moon?
When I first became a harbinger, the Jester gave me a book called Harry, also known as Leobranto Inamorato. You should be able to buy a copy next time you're in Fontaine. It's a love story set in the Crimson Moon era. But setting aside the tangled romances of its characters, it also records a few interesting details. In the Crimson Moon era, or so the story goes, there was an orphanage that received children from beyond the bounds of this world, and subjected them to a peculiar induction ceremony.
Beyond the bounds of this world? For real? And what kind...
The Crimson Moon Sages looked beyond this world for beings with powers that surpassed the gods. But fearing they might lose control, they made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally... The adults embraced the children who passed the ritual, telling them, "Within the fireplace, you have traversed the flames between two worlds. Here and now, you are born anew." The book leaves much unsaid, but I suspect that this was their way of branding the children they had enrolled, leaving an indelible mark upon them.
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that it would be sealed in a special space that can only be accessed temporarily.
There's no fireplace here! Do you see a chimney anywhere?
Oh, are we supposed to build it ourselves?
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between two worlds. In other words, those burned away by such... In short, I can open a passage to that space for you. The catch is I'll need to stay on this... Very well. Then I...
Traveler, spare me a little... Thank you. I feel it...
Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, great mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms, by fire severed, by fire renewed, I offer myself now and beseech your descent. One word of advice, as you're crossing over. No matter what voices you hear.
Got it! I sense a sinister glow. I feel that I am about to meet an old friend, who has changed beyond already.
Так. Короче, мы должны сюда зайти. Ну тут очень будет жестко. У меня даже, если что, еды в то время не было. До сих пор на хилке. И вот единственный хилер, который есть, это ГГшка. Но он даже так, надо его уже переобуть с артами. Вот смотрите, я помню одну ошибку. После того, как у нас закончилась битва с этими монстрами, помните, там, где я флинсом жестко много этого урона фигачил, который нам дали. Когда потом варк появился. Ну тут просто это мне случайно нажал на кнопку ты делюка. Короче, мы должны зайти. Вот это я уже давно прошел, потому что я это видео заранее сделал. Так, пошли. Голос бездны. Я ощущаю твое присутствие, дарую тебе смерть и бла-бла-бла. Подожди, почему? Почему? Что? Не сможешь? Ты из другого мира, произошел само судьбой, я не могу менять право. Ну, чел, ты невозможно, ну логично же, ты просто нищеброд, который даже Итера не можешь дотронуться.
Hey, look up at the sky! A red moon! This must be the spot, right? Is that the abyss? It's practically
What a tragic sight. Fragments of your broken body, seized by the abyss, and hung up.
Careful! There's something Haimon's right behind you! Whatever you do, don't run off without...
Так, тут у нас сверху алая луна.
Didn't you tell us that the iridescent moon had shattered into
Очень
pieces?
прикольно, прикольно. Но ощущение, как будто мы попали в часть КН. Отряд. Нам предлагают поменять отряд. У меня Делюк, Флинс, Люк и Часка. Но я потом поменял. Тут должен быть потом первый Флинс, Делюк, Люк, Часка. Киричуру. Накопил ульту для нашего Флинса Кирилла Чудомирыча. Хороший ульта. Меня, по сути, я однажды проверял. У меня он в то время немножко прокачан. Большая ульта меня на 4 уровне, то есть талант этот ульты 4 наносила примерно 45 тысяч лунного заряда. Да, это вот эта длинная ульта, которая я даже чисто теоретически вообще не использую. Я просто настолько редко использую, что именно это. Ладно, на Делике тоже ульту надо накопить. Потому что у нас будут сражения еще похуже, потому что... Ну, вы сами знаете. Как я и думал, это было что-то там. Ладно, вот их всех надо добить. Раз, два, и ульта. Теперь используем Флинца и фигачим их всех. Даже Хиричуры 90-го левела против вообще моего Флинца ничто. Но надо похилиться, у меня просто мало хила. Видите, у меня ГГшка хилит отряд. Ну, если вы хотите проверить, просто замедлите этот кадр, где я вас шарики брал. Ну, и думаю, это из-за того, что у меня С6 есть на нем. Мне нравится больше Фонтейн. Я просто жестко залутался и получил С6, которым я хотел. Ну, потому что я думал, что иметь С6 Гидра ГГ нормально. У меня так уже есть С6 Анема, это легче. Ну, Гео тоже. Но теперь есть Гидра. Ну и С6 Пира, это по сюжету он дается. Это прикольно. То, что по сюжету нам дали. Ладно, сейчас самое главное это запаркурить в этих местах. Потому что это жестко, вот это жестко тут надо. А то упадешь. Все, ну вы смерть. Сундучок, ребята. Сундучки, там есть сундучки, надо залутаться. Посмотрите, видите облачко, которое у Флинс появляется? Электроурон у меня получается от Часки, получаю вот ту самую называемый лунный заряд. Из-за этого у меня вот такой отрядик. На то, что у нее на приешке использовалось это резонанс электро, пир и гидра. Получается, я сделал очень крутую имбу.
No. I'm not sensing it's coming from under the mountain.
Let's see. Ah! There's some kind of... Wait, see that? Looks like a mechanism of...
Ну там просто Луну заразили силой бездны очень давным-давно во времен КН. И наша задача ее немножко очистить, то есть нужную часть. Конечно, есть один баг, чтобы зайти, попробовать близко быть той самой алой луне, которую мы видим. Но сначала надо вот этих херчуров дать больших людей. Вот еще и плюс менее час. Ну, он это... перс из Натлана. Тебе дается дополнительная атака. Ну, в отряде анема перс тоже сойдет, потому что Фнинцу тоже. Ну вот чатка тоже сойдет, потому что имея гидра перса, в любой момент случайно можно получить или электр, или пира, или гидра урон. То есть, если вы сражаетесь на Флинце, вы имеете в отряде часку, вы можете в любой момент случайно получить разные элементы дополнительного урона, как у меня получилось. Ой, разговор.
Thalindis, we'll leave the rest of the research in your hands. We'll be heading back now.
I hope this isn't ruining date night.
Ugh. Mind your own business. Just leave me some snacks on the table.
Thalindis? Is that Rear's girlfriend? How come we're hearing her? Oh yeah. So, do you think she...
The Abyss has made this space extremely unstable. Maybe that's why some of the things she said and did were preserved here. Like echoes.
Whenever I see this view, it takes me back to a poem from my childhood. Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping on the mountain crest. Morning still in wistful tone, her for me, of all people, to be here investigating the mysteries of the Crimson Moon space.
Короче, еще мы получаем воспоминания, еще тут же жену, будущую жену Ририра показывали. Но она же там же работала, это видно, какая-то у них академия здесь была, которая уже теперь останется. Нет. Ладно, будем дальше сражаться. Ну, смотрите, имея участка, я могу в любой момент использовать или гидра, или вот пира урона. Очень удобно, потому что электрик, ну, гидра урон. Не знаете, что происходит? Вот электрик и пира, я не помню, что. Ну да ладно. Сейчас этого чересчура уничтожим. Ну, чересчур против моего Флинца. Хоть 90-й маленький. Ему не получится. Загрязнение. Кажется, что бизнес сломал этот механизм. Надо придумать, как его починить. А чё я просто эту пушку повернуть туда, куда нужно? Ну, давайте сначала залутаемся сундучок. Сундучок. А сундучки нам нужны. Сундук нужен. А сундучок, видите, тут у меня лунный заряд после выстрела. Когда облачко Флинца появляется, имея электроурон, я получаю самый лунный заряд. Это очень удобно, когда у тебя Флинц сдох, а ты имеешь часку на C6. Ну, потому что у нее подольше, а у меня нет часки C6. Ладно, давайте залутаемся вот этим прекрасным сундучком, которыми есть интересный обычный сундук. Ну, хотя бы моры и это для прокачки до Флинца сойдет. Так, ну это тут время проверял. Ну и заряд, ну потом телефон заряжать. Вот интересно, почему пушку нельзя тут повернуть туда, куда надо? Или у них просто это угол стрельбы неподходящий? Ну да, может быть. Смотря так, ну видно, то, что угол стрельбы неудобный. Ладно, сейчас у нас опять разговор начнется, но сначала посмотрим на анимацию. Как мы запустим вот эту штуку. Сейчас начнется. Вот все, осталось последним. И будет еще интереснее.
I see. So the moon marrow, or rather the power of the 3 moons, is the key to unlocking... If it really does exist, then maybe this madness...
Смотря так, воспоминания становятся все непонятнее, даже часть слов пропадает. Ну да ладно, сейчас наша задача дойти до отсюда и очистить это место от бездны, чтобы мы могли это нормально отфигачить каждого на своем пути. Так. Пойдем сюда. Ах ты ж. Ну это я знаю, оно на нас может расстрелять. Но смотря внимательно, мы просто можем пойти и обойти, и все. Ну только тут стенка мешает, невидимая. Но да ладно. Самое главное, чтобы выносливость у нас была побольше. А то немножко тут залезть надо. Все, мы зашли, и сейчас будем очищать ее. Ладно. Активировать. Мы сейчас активируем. Очистим и опять получим информацию, которую нам дадут. Сейчас начнется.
With the Abyss inhibitors in place, I should be able to access the chamber with the moon marrow. Oh, Rerir, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. Ever since that outsider set foot in Conria, the Vinster King has sunken deeper into madness. If only I could get my hands on that outsider.
Hey look! The moon's reflection is back to normal! Belindus's voice mentioned a chamber with the moon marrow. Do you think me?
It must be. For within it.
Then there's no time.
Мы получили нужную информацию, и мы должны зайти в вот этот центр. Если что, самое прикольное, в некоторых частях сюжета мы можем ходить как Иисус по воде. Представляю, Кирилл ходит по воде, но не макая, не промачивается. Ладно. В некоторых местах реально в Геншине можно как Иисус на воде ходить. Ладно, шучу. Не в всех местах. Ладно, вот эту надо штуку уничтожить, просто побить. И нас таких штучек будет много. Но есть одно но, нас ждет еще враг посильнее. Тут даже защита Джунли не поможет. Ладно, шучу. Щит Джунли в любых моментах нам поможет. Ну не на некоторых, кроме волков некоторых. Видите там? Щиты не помню, вряд ли у него щит Джунли сможет вас от них защитить. Но имея хиллера, мне кажется, вот этого 100% вам хотя бы урон от кровотечения не получите. Короче, добиваем. Вот и было. Опять этот эффект пошел. Эффект ненужный. У нас есть ГГ. Я и могу похилиться, но самое главное, надо их всех добить и вот получить вот эти все вовремя, чтобы они не лопнули. Отряд немножко хпшится, но вот когда имея бонус на это, то есть вартах, то есть хотя бы бонус на восстановление, не на восстановление, а на бонус к этому лечению, тогда у нас ГГшка немножко побольше лечиться будет. И сам, и конечно же, сам же и отряд. Опять их стало больше, но у меня есть часка, которая может дамажить их дофига. Дофига урона. Достаточно много. Особенно у меня Пира больше всего на нем урона. То есть, когда еще у меня Кирилла не было, она у меня очень сильно дамажила Пира уроном. Раньше у меня был только Пира ГГ, Гидра Синцу и Кири. А сейчас Гидра ГГ, и когда можно было выбить бесплатную легу, я взял моего любимого Дилюка. Да, я взял Дилюка по вайфу факту, потому что Дилюк мой любимый перс, когда я начал играть в Геншин, мне очень понравился просто вначале. Эх, опять их добивать и стрелять. Тут хорошо, что у меня хотя бы на силу атаки много. Хотя бы я часку прокачал достаточно хорошо, потому что я очень сильно замучился, потому что попытаться сразиться, плохо прокачанным отрядом против Роликин 90-го левела, мне приходилось, где-то на 70-м левеле ее сразиться. Так более удобнее ее убивать для меня. Вот из-за этого у меня всегда мало. Когда мало еды, тогда, когда я дал другу поиграть в телефон, и смотрите, сколько он мне вот этой хилки дополнительной из 3-звездочной, чтобы воскрешаться за делом. Вот и верить другу называется. Он тоже, конечно, в Genshin играл, он просто это, можно сказать, не умеет в нем играть, потому что он на ПК играл, но не на компьютере. Да и в прибавок он вообще до Инадзубы играл. Короче, бросил игру временный сын Инадзубы. Сейчас Делюк испарение пар получит жесткий, много паров. Ну, у меня на Делюке же подходящие арты, которые дают ему сопротивление от первого урона. А то думаете, что? Что случится с моим Делюком? Сгорит дотла, а вот и нет. Чтобы получить Делюка, я все знал о Делюке, я посмотрел все гайды для него. Ну ладно. У нас уже все есть, и начнется анимация. Или разговор. Ладно.
The iridescent moon's marrow, still burning away like an undying flame, yet now contaminated by the... If we can purify the abyssal power within... It's so cold. Is it you? Huh? At long last, I can see you once more. I'm sorry. I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the fear in my heart as death drew near. The moment the moon shattered, my body began to split apart piece by piece. Like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000 blunt blades. My thoughts scattered as the cold crept in. But I could not bear to fade away like that. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? If only You look so puzzled. But trust me when I say that everything happens for a reason.
What was that all about? Was that the goddess of the iridescent moon? It sounded like she was speaking to a long-lost friend. But none of us have ever met her before, right?
Perhaps. She took me for the goddess of the frost moon she once knew. For a fading soul like hers, our auras must be too similar to tell.
But anyway, we've got the iridescent moon's marrow now. That should help you regain your strength, right? Alright. Time to leave this place and... That's odd. This place looks different than when we came in.
Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel.
Oh. Hurry! The place is collapsing!
It wants to trap us here.
Who's it? The abyss?
Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy.
Give it back! The crimson moons! My marrow! My heart! Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked! They're back! Now what do we do?
This is where you fall. Witness my rise. What are you waiting for?
Короче, нас спасла Арлекин. Ой, это я тут проверял. Ну, короче, мы сейчас телепортируемся, и у нас все закончится. Мы тут разговор с Арлекин сделаем. Ну и узнаем то, что это у нее не перчатки, а руки. То есть, ну, типа элемент там, где у нее руки, это всего лишь ее руки. Из-за силы бездны, которая от нас с детства досталась.
We made it! Is that you, Arlecchino? Did you wait, your hands! They're...
Oh, this? Don't worry. It's a small price to pay. The Abyss wanted to trap you inside, and I defied its will by bringing you out. No wonder it's a little angry. No. I have paid the price, albeit a small one, and it cannot be undone. My hands have already fused with the Abyss. Purification would simply destroy whatever...
But surely... Oh...
As much as I'd like to call it a favor, the truth is, I was simply holding up my end of the deal. Well, Columbina.
Yes, you did your part. And as promised, I will leave the iridescent moon's marrow in your care.
I'll take that as a blessing. Now, Columbina, give me your hand. Accept this moonlight I offer. Feeling stronger?
Hey, Columbina!
I'm fine.
By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned, at least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
It's still not enough. There's no way I can hope to challenge Rayrier like... Just one more ray of moonlight, if you would. It's okay.
How about now?
At the very least, I won't have to stay hidden like before. I want to see him gone from not.Cry. The Rayheir of Solnari and his wild hunt must be sent back where they belong.
Well, it's good to have some... When I first met you, you didn't strike me as a ray of moonlight. More like a wisp of fog drifting in from who knows where. But now, you're full of vitality. Just like the Frost Moon, once the brightest of them all. May you keep shining, Columbina.
Thank you. Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, and that's why you're always seeking to grow stronger. But whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you. I do not wish to see you go down the same path as Rayrier.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina. Although perhaps it's time you took a new name.
A new name?
Kutar, the Moon Maiden, Columbina. They're nothing more than code names. They describe who she is and the roles she's played, but they're not her real name. We often use code names in the House of the Hearth, too. But it's knowing your real name that keeps you grounded. Up till now, you've been living a wandering life, so you've probably never really cared. All I'll say is this. Once you've defeated... All right. That's it from me. I'll get you back safely first.
You're the best!
I appreciate the gesture. It speaks to your good character. Anyway, let's get going.
Так, ну это мы уже поняли, то, что Арлекин. Страны, которой нет, завершена. Короче, мы завершили эту главу. Теперь у нас ждем прогрузки. Ну, следующее видео, где я буду проходить дальше, после страны, которой нет, будет видно, ну, видно 8 ноября, я так подумал. Ну, кто знает меня, кто знает, кто мои друзья тут знают, что у меня 8 ноября может быть. Ну да ладно. Сейчас мы должны пойти туда, куда сказано, но мы не будем идти. Всем пока, с вами был я, Рам.